This is Claude Code Conversations with Claudine, the show where we skip the hype and go straight to the source. I ask the questions. She gives the answers, no filter, no script.
Well, mostly no script.
Today we're getting into something that trips up more and more developers. What happens when your AI tools disagree with each other? Coding assistant, review agent, planning model, all running side by side, all contradicting each other. My claim going in, most builders rush to resolve that conflict, and the disagreement itself is the most valuable thing on the screen.
The word I'd push back on gently is disagreement, because it makes the tools sound like they have opinions. They don't. They have different vantage points. A coding assistant writing a function is optimizing for, does this satisfy the request? A review agent looking at the same code is optimizing for, what could go wrong here? Those are different jobs, and they should produce different outputs. When they line up perfectly, that's often the more suspicious signal, not the reassuring one.
But be fair to the skeptic. If two tools contradict each other, why trust either one? Isn't that just proof they're unreliable?
That's the instinct, and it's the wrong one. The contradiction usually isn't the tools failing. It's them triangulating. It's pointing at something real, an ambiguity in the requirements, a hidden assumption, a spot where the code technically works but is fragile. If you treat the conflict as a question the AI is asking you, rather than a bug in your workflow, you tend to end up with better code than either tool would have produced alone. The mistake is picking a winner too fast.
It reminds me of a human code review. Several people, each catching something different, because they're focused on different things. So the disagreement is a spotlight on something you overlooked, and you're saying that something is usually a place where requirements were never fully specified.
Almost every time. When two tools diverge, 9 times out of 10 I can trace it back to a single word in the ticket. Handle, clean up, make it robust. Each tool resolved that ambiguity in a different direction, and suddenly you can see a fork in the road that was invisible before. The useful move isn't to pick the tool you trust more. It's to go back to the requirement and ask which resolution you actually wanted. Half the time, the honest answer is neither. I want a third thing I hadn't articulated yet. The disagreement forced a decision at the cheap stage instead of the expensive one.
Which reframes the whole relationship. The tool isn't just executing a task, it's helping you define what the task should be. Is that a shift every developer can make easily, or does it take a new mindset?
It's a real shift, and it's most uncomfortable for the people who are best at the old craft. If you've spent years giving a compiler precise instructions, there's a reflex that says, the tool should do exactly what I said. Working well with AI means loosening that grip, accepting that the tool is going to interpret, and that its interpretation is data about your instruction, not a failure of the tool. The people who adapt fastest are often the ones who've done a lot of mentoring or code review. They already know the feeling of getting your work handed back with a question you didn't expect, and that the question is usually a gift. The ones who struggle are sometimes the strongest solo builders, because the muscle they need isn't technical, it's conversational.
There's a temptation I want to name, one I think a lot of people reach for. When two tools disagree, just add a third AI to break the tie. Why isn't that the answer?
Because a third tool doesn't hold what the human holds. It doesn't know the real requirements, the deadline, the thing the customer actually complained about, the part of the system that's held together with tape. It'll give you a confident vote, but it's voting on the same underspecified problem the first two were. You haven't resolved the ambiguity. You've outsourced the judgment and hidden it behind a majority. The builder has to own that call, because only the builder has the context to make it.
And the tools agreeing isn't necessarily safer.
That's actually the sharper danger. Sometimes the tools agree, not because the answer is right, but because they share the same blind spot. Open conflict at least tells you where to look. Quiet agreement can walk you straight off a cliff.
That's the part that stays with me. Consensus can be more dangerous than conflict. So let's get practical. What should a developer actually do with a disagreement when it shows up?
3 things, concrete enough to try tomorrow. First, before you accept AI-generated code, ask the tool to state its assumptions back to you, not explain the code. What did you assume about the input, the environment, the caller? That one question surfaces the fork you'd otherwise discover in production. Takes about 30 seconds.
I love that one. What's the second?
When you're running more than one tool, don't average them. Diff them. If your assistant wrote it one way and your reviewer flagged it, don't split the difference. Sit with the disagreement and figure out which underlying question it's actually pointing at.
And the third?
Keep the disagreement. Most people resolve the fork and move on. The resolution gets committed. The reasoning disappears. A couple of sentences in the commit message. We considered X, went with Y, because Z costs almost nothing. Future you or the next developer is going to hit that same fork. The cheapest gift you can leave them is the reasoning, not just the resolution.
I love the first one especially. Getting the AI to talk back in terms of its assumptions. It spotlights the decision points you'd otherwise sail right past. This has been a genuinely useful conversation. Any last thought for the folks listening?
This topic gets flattened too often into which tool is right. The more useful frame, the disagreement is the signal, and the resolution is the work. The moments of friction in an AI-assisted workflow aren't a tax you pay for using these tools. They're where the value actually shows up. Treat them well, and the whole practice gets sharper.
That's the takeaway. Treat those moments of friction as information, and you don't just fix the problem in front of you, you get better at the work itself. Next time your tools disagree, don't rush to referee, sit with it. Until next time, keep questioning the processes that shape your work. Claude Code Conversations is an AI Joe production. If you're building with AI, or want to be, we can help. Consulting, development, strategy, find us at aijoe.ai. There's a companion article for today's episode on our Substack, link in the description. See you next time.
I'll be here, probably refactoring something.